Hello everyone, it is Haley, aka Haley's Hobbies, and welcome back to my channel where I talk about my hobbies. Hello, hi. So, Happy New Year! It is January 1st, and it is the new year, which is insane to think about. I had the urge to vlog again. I recently posted a reading vlog, and I had a lot of fun filming it, and yeah, I just really liked it, and so I thought maybe we could do a few more reading vlogs in the new year. So I figured I'd go ahead and start one, and maybe try and post one like every month, maybe 2 a month sometimes, I don't know. So yeah, this is the January vlog, and I thought it'd be fun to start it on January 1st. So hello, hi, welcome if you're new. My name is Haley, and I like to read. Kind of in this video, I wanted to share kind of the first reads of the year, kind of things that I want to read for like January, and then also some of my reading goals, I think, because I don't think I ever talked about that. I released my reading journal video, my setup, and I never filled out anything. I said I was, and then I just didn't. And so I thought we could like talk about the goals that I have. Maybe if I feel like it'll show me filling some stuff out. I did put a bunch of stickers on the back. These are the stickers that I decided to go for. I think it looks really cute. This is like my favorite sticker. And so yeah, I really don't know how to start this video. I feel like it's not going to be as interesting as my last video because the last video had my bookshelf reorganization. It has pretty much stayed the same, except that I did get some new books. I got the Farseer trilogy by Robin Hobb. This is like the first series in the like Robin Hobb's universe. If you look at like all of them, this is the first series, and this is the first book, Assassin's Apprentice, which is a lot shorter than like the other two, which is kind of fun. Okay, did have to reorganize a tiny bit. Basically, I just had to put up the Darker Shades of Magic trilogy like up straight, and then I had to move the Fragile Threads of Power down here to the bottom shelf and kind of scoop things. And then I didn't have enough room for the sunflowers, so I had to take them out. And so now I just have like some D&D dice right here, kind of marking the space between fantasy and contemporary. So yeah. I also have my 2 finished notebooks. This is my bullet journal for 2023 and 2024. And it's done. Well, half of 2023 and like all of 2024. And then my book journal is done. I have finished it. I've done all the end of year spreads, and it's time to put this up as well. I do need to film a flip through though for YouTube. Today I uploaded my book wrap up for the past couple months, and then today this video went live, so the book wrap up isn't going to be live for a bit, but at the time that you're watching this, the book wrap up should be up by now, so go check that out if you'd like. But yeah, so now we have moved into my new reading journal. I'll show you all what January looks like. Very cute, very fun. Really like the washi tape, and I don't really like how I did these 2 like sections of my TBR and the books that I read, because normally I do it a bit differently, but I wanted to be a bit different and I don't like it as much, but we're just gonna ignore that. I also, since I uploaded this video, I added 2 more pages in addition to my January setup. Actually, I think I added, okay, yeah, now I remember. I don't think I talked about this in my book journal video, but I did add a book bingo section, which I need to fill out. And then I also I also added a today I finished section, so that way I can see like when I finished books, and I have it color coded by the number of books that I finish. Usually I don't finish more than 2 books like in a day if I'm like close to the end of like both books, but maybe one day I'll do a 24-hour readathon, so I have like 4+ books on here. And yeah, so then my January spread, and then I added these 2 spreads as well. This one is more of a setup spread, and it's trim your TBR. I already have a physical TBR tracker, and like, so I can like track the days that I like, or track if I've like finished a specific book on my physical TBR, but I kind of wanted to make it more of an effort this year to read half of my physical TBR. I have 46 books on my TBR, and if I read 2 a month, then that puts me at 24 books read, which is just 1 book more than half of 46, so 23. So that would get me halfway through my TBR, and I feel like I can do it. Anyway, updates and journaling aside, I am gonna pick my first read of the year, and I think it's gonna be Emily Wilde's Map of the Otherlands, which is book 2 in the Emily Wilde series. I read book 1 actually last January, and it was the first book that I read in January, and so I thought it would be kind of appropriate to read the second book in the next January. So I thought we could start that, and I'm gonna pick this fairy bookmark because why not? I feel like that's very appropriate. And then I don't know what else I want to read for this reading vlog. Actually, I do. Okay, so in my winter TBR, I said that I wanted to read Great Expectations by Charles Dickens, and that was going to be for like the 500+ page book, I think. However, for some odd reason, I really want to read The Idiot by Fyodor Dostoevsky. I don't know why, but for some reason this is just calling to me, and so I think I might try this for the first classic of 2025. A lot of people like seem to have reviewed this pretty well. I went on Goodreads and it's like a 4.2, I think, which I feel like is pretty good for like a classic. I think that's just what I want to read. I just have the urge to read this. I've never read anything by Fyodor Dostoevsky. For whatever reason, I can't pronounce his last name. And I don't really know what it's about. I'm called to this for whatever reason. Don't know anything about it. Never read Dostoevsky, but I just really want to read this. For sure, these 2 books are going to be in this vlog. And then I kind of want to read Assassin's Apprentice, but I also want to read The Fury of the Gods by John Gwynne. That book is on my winter TBR, so I feel like I should read that. So I think we'll probably do that. I think I'll talk a bit more about my goals later because I feel like we've already talked quite a bit. So let's just get into Emily Wilde. Yay! A lot of people love this book, and I'm really excited to get into it. So yeah, bye. Okay, so it's a bit later. I haven't done much, but I did read a bit of Emily Wilde. Loving it so far. I forgot how much I just love these characters and how like funny Wendell is. He is like the main guy character in this book, and him and Emily are just so fun together. Emily is more of like the grumpy character, and Wendell is the sunshine character, and I love them so much. I'm at page like 46, and essentially what has been happening is that Wendell is trying to make it through an assassination attempt. I won't explain why because it kind of spoils the first book. The assassination attempt is on the back of this cover, so that part isn't like a spoiler, but why is. Yeah, I'm just having a lot of fun with it so far, and I can't wait to keep reading. I kind of want to get to page 100. I don't really need to, but like I just feel like, or at least like page 98, because then a new chapter starts. I feel like that'd be a good goal. I also want to start The Idiot tonight and read like 20 pages, which would take me to like chapter 3, I think, I'm assuming this is part 1. I also got some chocolate for Christmas. Well, these are my sister's, but she gave them to me, so I'm gonna eat that. I had some dinner. I took a shower because tomorrow I go back to work. Yay, adulthood. Not too happy about that, but tomorrow will probably be a pretty chill day. I have to cram all my hours into 2 days. I work part-time right now, so I have 19 hours that I need to put into Thursday and Friday, so I have to work from 8 a.m. to like 5:30 tomorrow, which kind of sucks, but it is what it is. First impressions of The Idiot. I got 20 pages in, and it's very easy to read. I'm very surprised. I was thinking it was gonna be like Jane Austen, who I do find a tiny bit more difficult to read, just because of the time it was written. I have no clue when this book was written though. It was written in 1869, so a bit later than Jane Austen. And also this is translated, so maybe they've made it a bit easier to digest in English. So thankfully pretty easy to understand, and what's cool is that this edition has like a list of characters in it, so I keep referencing it because new characters keep popping up. There's also some notes in here because there's some notes, and then there is a section for further reading. It's like criticism and whatnot. And of course the introduction. Starting off, the main character is Mishkin, Prince Mishkin. I think, I have no clue if that's how you pronounce his name, but that's how I'm pronouncing it. And he is coming to Russia for the first, well, not the first time, but after a couple years in Switzerland. Apparently he has like epilepsy, so he's been getting like treated for that. And there's like one last survivor of the Mishkin line, which is just this woman, I forgot her name, but she's part of like Princess Mishkin, like she's a Princess Mishkin. So I'm not sure what that means, if like she's descended from Princess Mishkin or if like she is considered Princess Mishkin. Not sure how Russian aristocracy works. Good morning everyone. So it is about 11:16 in the morning, almost the afternoon now, and it is the weekend. Thank God. I have been dying this whole week. Not really. I have been working a lot because I've had to make up my hours in 2 days. So like on Thursday, I worked 10.5 hours. And then Friday was a bit less. I think it was like 8.5, so it wasn't as bad. But yesterday, I was like standing pretty much the whole day, just doing stuff. So I'm about like 60 pages into The Idiot, and I'm like liking it, but I'm not loving it, if that makes sense, because it's so much dialogue and it's just so much like talking back and forth. Like whole chapters are just dialogue. There's no like descriptions of anything like whatsoever. There was one chapter that went more into like the background of some of the characters, and I really liked that one. Then we got back to the dialogue. But I am like generally liking the book so far. So you have like Prince Mishkin, and he finally like is like introduced to his relatives. they're relatives in like the loosest sense of the term, because they're very, very, very distantly related, to the point where people wouldn't consider them related almost. And everyone kind of really likes him. He is like a very good person apparently, and just kind of like a sunshine character, if you will. Really kind of everyone kind of accepts him with open arms. I feel like we're off-centered a little. And no one really has any qualms about him. And yeah, and I think he has epilepsy, is kind of what it's described. In the book it just says like fits, but I'm assuming that's like the term for epilepsy at the time. And so he has been like in Switzerland, like kind of getting care for that, and so now he's back in Russia, and now he's trying to like figure out what to do, I guess. And so yeah, he meets like his relatives, and that's basically where we're at. He's also twice now described in great detail executions. I don't know why. I don't know if that's going to be like a theme of the book. So yeah, so I'm obviously going to keep reading it. I've annotated in it now, so like I don't think I could like return it if I wanted to. I am also reading Emily's Map of the Other Lands. I'm at page like 95. And so not much has happened so far. Well, actually a few things have. And so now we're finally like in the new like location that I'm assuming this book is going to take part, like, are going to be set in for a majority of the book. Yeah, and so I haven't read this in a few days just because I didn't read yesterday. And then the day before I only read 10 pages of The Idiot. I've been doing like 10 to 20 pages a day of this. Really, I only need to do 10 pages if I want to finish this in 2 months. I've been reading this morning, and I'll probably read a bit more of Emily Wilde today and like focus on that for today, because I think I kind of want to finish this weekend. I don't really need to, but I kind of just want to like finish a book, you know? It's raining, if you can't hear, and it's about like 11 a.m. in the morning. Because I have no schoolwork, I feel like time is passing by so slowly. But today we're getting like a lot of rain, and then we're getting like a bunch of Arctic wind. So like the next like week and a half, 2 weeks, it's gonna be really, really cold, which is nice. I just hope that the pipes don't burst. I have been reading a bit this morning. I read about like 50 pages of Emily Wilde, and I'm loving it. I only have 100 pages left, and it's just so good. In addition to like making kind of like a map of the other lands, Emily and the people she's with are also looking for some lost scholars to try and figure out this mystery, if like they can find them or whatnot. And so I've been enjoying that. Yeah, now we're kind of getting into, I think, the last bit of the book. I love Emily and Wendell so much. I think they're so fun, and yeah, I think this series is so good. I really love the writing. The author is so good at like making things like so like atmospheric, and like having these beautiful descriptions of like, you know, nature and everything, and then at the same time instilling like this bit of like eeriness, kind of, where like you feel like you should be like watching over your shoulder the whole time, because the author kind of keeps it true to folklore in that sense with fairies, as opposed to like kind of recent romantasy kind of books, you know, having fae but like not kind of following through with like folklore, if that makes sense. Nothing wrong with that. I don't mind either way, like which an author decides to do, but I always think it's fun when they go like the true like folklore kind of way. So yeah, so I think I'll finish this today. I only got 100 pages, and then maybe I'll read a bit of The Idiot. I kind of don't want to because like, I don't know, I feel like if it's gonna be like dialogue heavy the entire time, I'm probably not going to enjoy it, but I feel like I might as well because it's easy to read, and I just need to read like 10 to 20 pages a day, so it's like, might as well read it, you know? I also think I'm going to extend this reading vlog a bit because we are only reading like 2 books, and I figured I'd try and finish like 1 more in this video. That way we can make it a little interesting. So I wish this video was a bit more interesting. I'm like not doing much this week, and I kind of wish I'd started the video earlier when I went to like Barnes & Noble, because I feel like that would have been fun. Hopefully y'all enjoyed this chill reading vlog of me literally doing nothing. Hello everyone. So it is quite late. Not really. It's almost 8 p.m. I am winding down for the night. I'm in my room, in my bed. And yeah, I haven't done much today. I don't know what to do now that I don't have like schoolwork or anything. It's very strange like feeling, because I should be going back to school at this point, you know? Maybe like 1 more week, but like I'm not. Very strange. Yeah, I'm still kind of like, what is going on? But yeah. It is Monday today. I was so excited to leave work. I normally work from like 8 to 1. I work part-time. And so when I come back from breaks, or like about to go on a break like Thanksgiving or winter break, spring break, and I have like 2 days to get all of my hours done, I'm only allowed to work 19 hours, which is kind of sad. I wish I could work a bit more, but it is what it is. But when I have to cram 19 hours into like 2 days, it's a lot. 3 days is a bit more manageable. And like I had a schedule before where I was Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and I liked that quite a bit, but the but my boss kind of prefers if we're there every day, even though I'm also not doing Fridays. But Fridays we don't have much to do, so it's not as bad if I'm like not there. I work in the mornings, and so I get off at 1, and it's a pain in the ass to get up to work that early, but I love getting off at 1, and it's also because I get to see the sun. But I was very excited today to leave at 1 because I was only there for 5 hours. It felt like it flew by. I forgot to eat my lunch because I was just doing so many things, and so like time just flew by. And so it was 1 p.m. and I was like, I get to go. Came home. Actually, I went to the gym and I just walked on the treadmill for an hour. I was gonna read a book, but I ended up watching a bunch of YouTube videos, and then I've just been home, and I really just have kind of just been not doing much. I read a bit of The Idiot. I'm now on page 100, and not much is going on. We are kind of meeting another character's family. There's this young guy named Ganya, yeah. And he is basically offering Prince Mishkin a place to stay. And so we're kind of learning about Ganya's family, and Ganya doesn't really like his family, and his family's kind of upset with him because Ganya wants to marry, or doesn't really want to, but there's this girl who for some reason wants to marry him. I don't know why, but oh yeah, her name is Nastasia Filipovna. She is kind of really looked down upon in the family because she lost her virginity before marriage, and this was a big no-no at the time. And so the mom and the daughter are like not having it with Ganya and Nastasia wanting to like marry. There's some other stuff that's going on, and so now we're also seeming to bring in a few more characters. Rogozin is a character that Mishkin met on the train ride over to Russia, and so it looks like we're getting him back. Apparently he's going to be like a major player. I keep going back to this like list of characters page. I keep forgetting some people, but now I'm getting like the hang of it. And apparently he's going to be a major character. Apparently it's Mishkin, and then this guy Rogozin, and then Nastasia. I don't know. It's in Russian. I don't know how they pronounce the names. I should look them up though so I can say them properly. But yeah, so that's where we're at, and so far I'm like having a good time. Like I said, it's not really like wowing me right now, but I am being entertained a bit more in these past 20 pages. I started listening to an audiobook. I was gonna show it. Actually, I can show it to y'all because I found it on Kindle Unlimited. I still have Kindle Unlimited until like the end of February, so very happy about that. I thought it ended this month, but it's one more month. On the way to work, I read audiobooks, and I was looking for an audiobook to read, and this one came in on my Libby app that I get through the library, and it is A Fate of Wrath and Flame by K.A. Tucker. And I initially checked this book out physically a couple months ago, but I just never got around to it. It sounded really interesting. I just never got around to it, and so I decided to put a hold in for the audiobook because I thought maybe I could listen to it that way and just listen to it on the way to work. Why is this audiobook 18 hours? Anyway, so I figured out that my audiobook is probably gonna be turned in before I can finish it, and there's people behind me, so I won't be able to get, be able to renew it. I'll have to get back in line to get it, and so I managed to find it on Kindle Unlimited. So this is the cover in case y'all are curious. I am liking it so far. It's very interesting, kind of a fun concept. So let me find it. I'm just gonna like give you all the blurb. So essentially you have Romeria, which I think is how you pronounce it. It's one of the characters says her name so many times, but says it in like a French Italian accent. It's very strange. I don't know if like if the character is meant to be French, or if like the audiobook reader is just doing a bad French accent, but it sounds like a mix between French, Italian, and then like the Hotel Transylvania guy from the movies.
I don't say blah blah blah.
Yeah, you have Romeria, and she's kind of a thief in New York, and she just steals a lot of jewels and stuff. And so one day she's kind of approached by this woman named Sophia, this mysterious woman, and Romeria gets kind of gets wrapped up in Sophia's request to like help save her husband. And so Romeria goes back to Sophia's place, and then Romeria is wrenched from this world and transported into a realm of opposing thrones, warring elven societies, and elemental magic. And so Romeria wakes up in the body of a treacherous elven princess, and there's like enemies to lovers and forced proximity and having to work together to uncover the danger that surrounds them. But with their enemies closing in, and as she fights for her growing feelings for the king, it's time for Romeria to find out who she truly is. So it sounded really interesting when I like first found it at the library. I was like, ooh, having to like be this like identity, you know, like of someone and not knowing like the world that you're in sounds really cool. And so yeah, that's why I picked it up. And so I'm reading the audiobook, and when I tell y'all today, I was so confused because like I was listening to the audiobook and I was on like chapter 2, like the end of chapter 2, and all of a sudden it skipped forward quite a bit, and I was like, did I miss something? Like I don't know what was going on, but all of a sudden it like went to this like big plot point and I'm not gonna say what it is. It happens towards the beginning of the book, thankfully, but it goes towards this big plot point. It is kind of necessary for the character to enter into the new like realm thing, and so if you know, you know. And so this whole time I thought this audiobook had jumped to the end for whatever reason, and so I was like on the audiobook app and I was like, what is going on? It was acting strange, and I was like, did the audiobook just like record wrong? And so like I went on Reddit to see if like anybody else had any problem, but no one else had any problem. And so I had to keep like figuring it out, and eventually I got back to where I was meant to be, and immediately it went into like the next chapter, and I was like, okay, so obviously somehow the audiobook skipped ahead and spoiled the book for me. And so I was like dead set that this plot point happened at like the end of the book, and I was pissed. I was like, are you joking me? I'm gonna have to go through this 18-hour audiobook and I already know like the ending. Thankfully it was like 30 minutes later into the audiobook and it happened, so wasn't that big of like a reveal, like a plot point kind of thing. I mean, it's kind of important. I actually don't know why it needed to be done, but thankfully nothing like too bad, like on my reading experience. Does that make sense? Like the whole book wasn't spoiled is what I'm trying to say. Like we got to the part like in the next chapter, so like it was fine. But when I tell you I was so confused, and then I sat the next like 30 minutes pissed thinking that I just ruined like this book, you know. Nope, just had to wait a bit. It was there. For some odd reason it just jumped ahead. I don't know why. I didn't even like, I wasn't even on the app. I was driving, so like I don't know what happened, but yeah. Anyway, so I wanted to read the audiobook with the ebook, so that's what I'm going to do, and I'll read for a bit. I have no idea what chapter I'm on, so I need to figure that out. So we're finally like in the like new realm that the character is in, and I'm excited to continue reading, and so I think I will read that for the rest of the night and then go to bed. But yeah, I've been very like inspired lately. I recently got a bunch of new followers, so hello, hi, welcome. If you happen to like stay for this video, welcome. I sometimes have videos that do like really well. My 2025 book journal video, for example, did really well. It got over 1,000 views, so I am famous. I'm not famous, but that's a lot of views for my channel, and so I got a lot of new subscribers, and usually the next few videos just don't do as well. I think like my my book wrap up that I posted after got like 12 views, which is fine. But if you happen to stick through like all of this and like you're still here from the journaling video and you're still watching like all of this content. Hello, hi, welcome, thank you for joining, I really appreciate it. Hello everyone. So it is Saturday, it's been a hot second since I've filmed. Yeah, I haven't been doing much other than reading. I finished A Fate of Wrath and Flame. I loved the book so much. I finished it last night. It is so good. I was so shocked by it. So I just kind of binged it in a few days and I finished it last night and I loved it. It's very slow fantasy and there's like a lot of world building. There's a lot of like history that is in the world because Maria has no idea what's going on. So she's like trying to figure all this stuff out while you're also trying to figure all of it out. So I really love slow fantasy is what I've kind of discovered. Some of my favorite reads from 2024 had like a lot of world building and were very slow. And I'm so excited to read the other three. There's 3 more. So I've already gotten like all the ebooks checked out. So I'm gonna be reading them on my Kindle. And then I've been reading The Idiot. I've gotten about 200 pages in and I'm still enjoying it. I'm not like obsessed with it, but I'm not like hating it. I do have like a few kind of like annoying things about it, and that's just like I feel like people are so like emotional in this book, and maybe that's like what the author is like trying to like convey, but it just kind of feels like people do like a whole 180 in their emotions from like one sentence to the next. I don't know if I'm like missing something, but it kind of feels like that. I have no idea what's going to happen in this book, so I'm curious to see how it's going to keep going. Right now we're kind of I just started part 2, and kind of what happens is that there's a get-together at the end of part 1. Part 2 picks up like 6 months later after the fact. So yeah, and so now we're finally like revving things back up again. Mishkin ended up going away for like those few months and now he's back. I don't want to like say what happened at the end of part 1 because that would provide a lot of context to what I'm saying, but I don't want to say it because I feel like kind of spoils a little bit. It's not like a big spoiler because there's still so much like left in the book, but I don't want to say anything in case somebody wants to read this and they don't want to hear about it. But like I said, kind of just feeling 50-50 on it. I want to pull up the cover of this next book. So I still have Today and Tomorrow that I think I'll include in this reading vlog. When I tell y'all I was so excited this morning when I woke up because I thought that when I went to bed last night, for whatever reason, I thought that today was Sunday. And so I woke up this morning and I was like, oh, it's Sunday, I have to go to work tomorrow. I don't know what happened, why I was thinking that, but when I woke up this morning and I saw that it was actually Saturday, so happy. I was so happy. I was fully convinced it was Sunday. I just don't know where I got that from. But yeah, so I think we'll probably film Today and Tomorrow and then just call the reading vlog quits because I feel like this video is getting quite long. Although I love long reading vlogs, so I don't mind too much like long videos. It just means that it takes forever to edit. I think what I want to do for kind of Today and Tomorrow is read 2 more books. Okay, so first book is a novella and it is Six Scorched Roses. Oh my god, I can't speak. Six Scorched Roses by Carissa Broadbent. This is book 1.5 in the Crowns of, is it Nyaxis or Nyaxia? Crowns of Nyaxia novella, yeah. So this is like book 1.5. It's meant to be read between books 1 and 2. And this follows Lilith and Vale. And apparently, I think those characters get put into the second book, so this kind of gives you a bit more of the backstory. So yeah, I am excited to get into this. I read The Serpent and the Wings of Night over like the Christmas kind of New Year kind of week that happens. And I read a lot of books, and one of them was The Serpents and the Wings of Night, which I really liked, and I think I gave it like a 4-star. It was really entertaining, and I am wanting to keep reading it just for the vibes. It's just a lot of fun. It isn't like the best thing I've read, especially now that I've read Fate of Wrath and Flame. Like when I put those two side to side, I really enjoyed A Fate of Wrath and Flame more than like Serpent and the Wings of Night, but The Serpent and the Wings of Night was still good, you know. Just nothing like unique, I guess, nothing new. It's very much follows like the romantasy kind of vibe, if that makes sense. So yeah, not saying that it's bad, just isn't anything like revolutionary, you know? And a book doesn't have to be revolutionary, but I did enjoy it. And then my hold from the library finally came in. It wasn't supposed to come in for a little bit longer, but I finally got A Dangerous Collaboration by Deanna Raybourn. I've kind of been reading a Veronica Speedwell like every month since I started Curious Beginning, and it has been just a fun time. I just love this series so much. And so this is book 4, and there's like a fake marriage trope in here. I think Stoker is going to like a wedding, and of course there's like a mystery murder thing, and so Veronica has to pretend to be his wife or something, because obviously it's like 1888 or something, and you need propriety. Yeah, so I'm very excited to read that. Katie from Katie is Reading is like one of my favorite booktubers of all time, and I think she said that that one is for like her favorite of all of the like the whole series, so I am very excited to get to this one. So yes, that's going to be my reading for this weekend, and that's probably all that I'm going to be able to get to. I probably won't even finish A Dangerous Collaboration. Hello everyone. So it is a few days later. I forgot to film an outro, so we're doing that now. If you hear sniffling and licking and chewing and whatnot, it's my dogs. I put their crate in my room so they could sit in here because they're not allowed in my room, and so they're just sitting next to me, and it's really cute. I was gonna film this outro like tomorrow, but I'm actually unexpectedly getting a new phone today. It's been this whole drama thing. The phones got sent to us wet. Me and my family were getting some new phones because we've had ours for quite some time. I'm gonna be setting it up tonight, so I figured I would very quickly film this outro, and thankfully I've like basically edited the whole reading vlog video, and so I can download that and get that uploaded to YouTube before setting up the new phone. I'm pretty sure I can just transfer stuff, but I don't know how much of like my stuff is backed up, so I'd rather just get this finished and have that good to go and be able to start like with the new phone without having to worry about losing all this footage. Does that make sense? Anyway, what did I read? We have to do a little wrap up because this is the end of the video. I've read quite a bit, so let me grab stuff. As y'all know, the first read of the year was Emily Wilde's Map of the Otherlands. This is book 2 in the Emily Wilde series. I loved it. I keep saying if y'all remember, I'm gonna assume you have because I was talking about it like 10 minutes ago. I really enjoyed this. I loved learning more about, you know, the Fae realm, and also seeing like Emily and Bumblebee's friendship and sort of relationship and what they get up to and everything. I realized my straw is in the frame. Sorry about that. And I just really enjoyed it. I'd say if there's like one thing that I didn't like, it would probably be that I felt like the ending happened too fast. Like the whole climax of the story I felt happened in like a few pages, but maybe that's just because I was reading it so quickly. So yeah, but overall really loved this, and I'm so happy to have finally read it, and I can't wait for the 3rd book to come out, which comes out I think in February. So maybe I'll pick it up from the library and actually read it on time. And then that is my dog itching. I have gotten about 270 pages into The Idiot by Fyodor Dostoevsky. I'm not loving this. It is starting to drag on a little bit. I was honestly like having an okay time like in the first part. I actually really liked it, and even though I wasn't loving it, I was having a good time. And you know, I found so many things in this book that I like, and like quotes that I like, and just like so many emotions and everything. But now we're in part 2, and I'm not having that great of a time because everyone is just talking. I think part 2 literally spans like the course of like a few days really, and most of it is like this interaction with a group of characters kind of getting back in touch, and I've just have not been obsessed with it. And part of it I think is, I guess, like the characters. I don't really care for the characters. I feel like a lot of them are just flip-flopping emotions for no reason. just random outburst of emotion, and all of a sudden Mishkin is very well acquainted with like Rogojin and Ganya, when like in part 1 I felt like he really wasn't, but then like we have a time skip of like 6 months and all of a sudden he's besties with these characters. Yeah, I'm almost to part 3, and so maybe it'll pick up in part 3, and I'm kind of hoping to get to like maybe page 350 or even page 100 this weekend. I kind of want to do a 24-hour readathon because I have a 4-day weekend, and I figured I could just split up the 24-hour readathon over those 4 days. And so if that's the case, I feel like I could get a lot of this done. Yeah, I mean, the writing's really easy to read, and like it's not like bad by any means. It's just I'm not interested, if that makes sense. So maybe it'll pick up a bit in this next part. But yes, so we got a bit of progress on that. And then I basically binged a Fate of Wrath and Flame. This is the first book in the Fate and Flame, no, Wrath and Flame series. No, I think it's Fate and Flame series. There's 4 books in it, and A Fate of Wrath and Flame is the first. And this was a really fun series. I really enjoyed it. So much world building is in it. It's very slow fantasy, and like I've said, I've just been really enjoying slow fantasy, especially if there's like stuff going on. Like I love Legends and Lattes. It's very slow fantasy, but it doesn't have a lot going on. But I love when a book is slow and still has like a lot of like stuff going on, you know? So I just had a good time with this book, and I just loved learning about like the history of the world, and like the character kind of wakes up in this new world, so we get to learn all these things with her, and I just had a blast reading it. There is some romance in it, and I kind of wish it like didn't happen so quickly. I kind of have this gripe with like fantasy authors where they just kind of rush to get into the relationship, even if they claim it's like hate to love or like enemies to lovers, you know? But then they rush through it and get the characters together in like the first book. And I feel like you really need to drag it out, you know? Like I feel like 1 book is not enough to like really get through a relationship. Like you need at least 2 books for them to like start to like each other, you know? That's how I feel. But I still really enjoyed this series, and I will definitely be reading the next ones maybe this month or next month. I also finished 6 Scorched Roses by Carissa Broadbent. This is book 1.5 in the Crown of Nyaxia series. The first book is A Serpent in the Wings of Night, which I feel like made its rounds a few months ago around like TikTok and YouTube especially, and I read it over the break and I really enjoyed it. It's just a fun romantasy, and I thought I just had a lot of fun. It was really great, actually. Sometimes you just need like a good romantasy, you know? Nothing like profound and like revolutionary, but just like a fun time, you know? And so I had a fun time, and so I am now reading the rest of the series, and I was able to get the other books on Kindle Unlimited, and so recently I got the novella 6 Scorched Roses from the library. I don't think you have to read it after the first book, but I think it's recommended to read it before the second, because I think the second brings in the characters from 6 Scorched Roses, which are Vale and, is her name Lilith? I literally just finished it like 2 days ago and I can't remember, but I think her name's Lilith. And yeah, overall I really liked it. It was a lot of fun. I think I did an update on it. I don't remember. Maybe not, but anyway, it was honestly actually really good for a novella. It was about 150 pages, and I feel like that's a good length for a novella, because a few novellas that I've read that are about like 70 something pages or like 100 pages just aren't very good. I'm looking at you, Allie Hazelwood, Cruel Winter with You. Not good. I thought it was okay, but now that I'm looking back at it, it really wasn't very good. I feel like you need that time to really develop the like relationship and the story, and obviously it's a very short amount of pages, but I feel like 150 pages like you can actually do something with, and I feel like 6 Scorched Roses like actually had like a story in those pages, and maybe like the romance I feel like kind of went a bit quickly. Like it kind of was very like insta attraction kind of, but like there was a story in it, so I was having a great time, and I really liked it. And I kind of really liked I think the main character is kind of autistic coded, and so I related a lot to like things that she was saying, and I really like how she like kind of like I don't want to like spoil anything, but I kind of like the kind of conclusion to the story with like life and death and like the arguments and whatnot, if that makes sense, because in this book they're like vampires, right? And Lilith is like a human, and so I kind of like where things like went with that, and like how the author kind of like explained kind of these things that Lilith was feeling and kind of like the conclusion. I don't want to spoil it, so like I'm not going to get too much into it, but yeah, really enjoyed it, and I'm excited to see how these characters are integrated into the second book. I don't really know where we're going to go in the second book, because definitely these characters kind of had their own kind of plot going on. Oh, actually, I do remember what's going on. So it'll be interesting to see if Lilith kind of brings some of the stuff that she did in the first book along with her, or if it just kind of focuses on the like stuff that happens at the end of the first book, you know, with like the other characters. So yes, anyway, so I've just been having a blast, and yeah, so those are the 3 books that I finished, plus the one that I'm currently in the middle of, and yeah, that's the first reading vlog of the year. I had so much fun. My grandma was looking for the dogs. I'm just so happy about reading. I have so many fantasy reads that I want to do. I think tomorrow I'm actually going to start a 24-hour readathon, because I do have a 4-day weekend, and so hopefully that video will be up soon, but I need to get this one edited and ready to go. So yes, I think that is everything. So let me know what books y'all have finished recently. Have y'all finished anything in the new year so far? If so, what was it? I'd love to hear kind of your first reads of the year. And maybe some books that y'all are planning on reading. I have a lot of books that I want to read this weekend, because all of my holds from Libby decided to come in at the same time that I put in like months ago, and now I have like 5 books that I need to read. It's kind of ridiculous. So we have a lot of reading to do this weekend. I don't think I'll get through all of them, but I'm hoping to get through maybe 2 or 3. Probably 2. I feel like 2 is more realistic. Maybe just 1. Who knows? But anyway, that's it. So thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!